Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this one is a little bit different. It's a video that I was actually wanting to do for a little while, and because I like to always be open and honest and transparent, I'll be honest, since I planned on recording the video, I've then set up a partnership with this company. So my opinion isn't going to change. What I'm going to say to you is going to be exactly the same, but I know that if I was you watching this, like, I'd want to know an honest opinion. And I've had quite a few messages, like when I've posted me using this on my Instagram, from people asking what I think, and what I say now will be exactly in line with that then, to what people have, like what I've said to people then to what I'd say to people even now. So review is going to be of the PowerDot. Now this is the 2.0. I didn't have the 1, so I can't tell you the difference. But this was actually gifted to me via Barbella Box, who are a training subscription box. So you know, you get the beauty subscription boxes. So I was actually put in contact with PowerDot through them, because they've got stuff coming up in their boxes that is linked with PowerDot. So they sent me a free one. Well, they contacted PowerDot. PowerDot then reached out to me and sent me one out. So I've had this since just before lockdown started. So I've had it a little while. So I did some training with it, like where my training was like high intensity in the build up to what should have been the Europeans in April. And then I've obviously been using it through lockdown as well. So inside the box, so it comes in a nice little box. Inside the box, it comes with the carry case. And in the case you have got, because it's a duo, so you get 2 of the dots. You get shorter wires and also longer wires. There's the charging cable, and I got 2 sets of pads as well. So that's kind of what's inside it. Now I do have a discount code which I will give to you guys at the end of this video for you to use, but like I said, my review is going to be exactly the same as what it would have been. So you've probably seen them all over social media of different people using them and whatever else, and the main reason I recorded this today is because I just did a training session of front squats and clean and jerk, quite heavy, and I've already got muscle soreness. I'd like to call it IMS, so instant muscle soreness, as opposed to DOMS, which is delayed onset. So I'm going to stick it on my quads and do a little bit of recovery. So I will now do a screen record of me setting up the recovery, and then I'll be back in a second when it's turned on. Okay, so this is what the PowerDot looks like. The app, sorry, when you open it up. So it's got, as you can see, like the everyday stuff at the bottom here, and then you can be more specific, so you can go into each area, and under performance is where you can see your like endurance and your strength stuff. There's the wellness, and then there's TENS and pain relief, which I think is a wicked function and is one that I've used. I'll talk to you guys about that in a bit. And then there's a focus on, and then you can choose the area and then kind of pick from there where you want to go with it. So like if we were to pick like quads, it then just takes you to the different sections within that. But as I just said, what I'm going to do right now is a recovery. In fact, before I do that, let me show you guys around. So you've got the TENS has its own section there in the bottom left, so you can see I've used it on my back a little bit when it's felt a bit tight and niggly from training. And then you could get an overview of like what you've done. That's the main page in the middle. This one here just shows you whether the dots are on or not, so I haven't actually got mine on right now. And then you just have your area there. So let's go through it as if I'm about to do one. So if I go extended recovery, I'm going to put it on my quads, and you can see there that it's like waiting for the dots to turn on. So I'm going to turn them on now, and then you will see it come active. And then you can see that I need to plug in the cable, and then that's one side done, and then the other side, and then we go start workout. And you can see here at the bottom it says like link devices, so that basically turns them both up at the same time, rather than, you can choose one more than the other. So turn that up, and if I click do's and don'ts, you can see that it just says to kind of do what you want, chill out, move around while they're going, whatever you want. Whereas if you were to do one of the like strength cycles on this, then it would give you like the specific place you need to be in so that you can resist the movement. So yeah, there's a little look at the app, guys. Okay, so I now have the dots on and they are doing their thing. So I just figured I'd talk to you guys about, you know, how I feel about the app while it's doing its thing. The other thing I meant to tell you what's in the box is there's a little leaflet and it tells you, you can see it gives you all the like positionings and stuff of where to put everything, like pad placement guides. So there's the quad one. I mean, I don't know who these people are that they've like managed to do it, but they are seriously lean. Like you're looking at it and you're like, I don't think my muscles look like that. And then I realize it's just because they're crazy lean. But it does make it kind of useful to see where to put it. And there's another bit of information on like how to use each section and setting it up and all that kind of stuff, which I probably should have read more of, but you read the instructions. So that's that. Okay, so what are my thoughts on this? Like I said, I will be open and honest. I've got it on a recovery function right now. Do I feel any difference in the recovery? No, I don't think so. Like, it's so hard to make a comparison because my training is so like different from day to day. Like my recovery can be affected by so many factors like sleep and stuff and what else I've done that day, like what percentages my training was at. So I wouldn't say I directly feel a benefit or I don't feel it. Like I don't know. And at this point in my career, like when I'm competing at the level I'm at, if I can gain like a 1% on my recovery and that this might be doing it, then I'm going to take it. Because it's, you know, I don't know if it's doing something, but it's not going to be doing anything negative. Like there's the research out there to show that, you know, it does do stuff. So yeah, pretty much I just use it in the hope that it does something, but I don't necessarily feel the benefit for it. Now, when it comes to things like PowerDots, and I've used a complex before, so actually when we had the centralized program and I had a little bit of a knee injury, I used a complex to help my recovery, and using it for like warming up for training and stuff and getting like my quads active and moving and taking the strain off my knee a little bit. So what I used to do, and you can do this on the PowerDot as well in the strength function, because what happens with this, so on the recovery it just like does pulses and is basically like a blood flow and it's getting new blood to the muscles and just aiding that recovery that way. But when it comes to the like strength stuff, it basically does like one really hard buzz to make the muscle like really contract. And what I do with my knees and stuff is so I stand up with it on, and then as it contracts, you have to like squat against that contraction. So if you think you've got it on your quad and the muscle's going to contract and shorten, to then squat against it, like you're making that muscle like really work through its range. So I did find that really useful. And I've tried it out on the PowerDot app and it is exactly the same. So that's a really cool function. And the other function that, you know, I feel the benefit from is the TENS function. Like TENS machines have been around for years. Like you can buy cheap TENS machines in like your local like Boots or like pharmacy equivalent, like CVS type places. So that function, like I said when I was going through the app, like I've used it on my back when it's feeling a little bit tight from training and a little bit niggly, and that does seem to help and loosen it up. Again, it's that like blood flow thing and keeping the muscle warm and getting it moving and stuff. So I've used it on my back, and then after I competed in Rome, I overstretched my elbow with that danger snatch where I went for a bit of a run and an ice skate at the same time. And I used it on that again just to promote blood flow to the area more than anything, because if you've got an injury, you want fresh blood to the area, fresh oxygen, so it can heal and it can recover, and just keep that sort of stimulated. So I've used those functions quite a lot. They're not particularly functions I want to be using because, you know, that means there's an injury or a niggle going on. It's just like changed like setting. Just so that you guys can see what's going on. Obviously the unicorn slippers are necessary, and the panda shorts. But yeah, this is what happens in recovery mode. Legs just get a little bit of a jiggle. So yeah, the tens is a cool function, and I saw somewhere, I think on their website, that they're bringing out like a long haul flight mode so that you can put it on your legs like when you're on long, and it was going to keep that blood flowing, but I haven't actually found that on the app, so I'm not sure if that's like in development or what. So like I said, I've used a Compex before, but the Compex I used was wired, so you had to carry around like the pack that has all the programs and stuff on it, and then there's all the wires, and then you attach yourself to it, which means like when you put it on, like you're stuck to that spot, like you can't really go anywhere. Whereas with the PowerDot, like I said, when I showed you through the app, is like when it's on recovery mode, like I can still potter around the house and do stuff like make my food, do the washing, like whatever it is, like I can carry on moving and stuff. So it is really cool that it's like kind of wireless in the sense that there's nothing connecting this to a device or to my phone. And it's also really handy because I travel so much. So, you know, when you go through airport security and you've got to get out everything that's electrical, like it's another thing to get out if you've got the ones with the box that goes with it. So that is definitely a huge plus for me, is the fact that it is app based. And I was unsure at first of what the power would be like by comparison with it not being wired to a like a device on its own, but the way that the dots are and they're charged up, you know, it is exactly the same. I wouldn't say I noticed any difference in power. So from that point of view, again, it's really cool. One thing that I would say as a little bit of a negative, personally, I am an Android user, hate if you're gonna hate, and the app isn't that great, and it is something that they have acknowledged. So sometimes you have to like clear the cache or whatever it's called on the Bluetooth, because they just have a little bit of a paddy and don't link up. Especially I've noticed a difference if somebody else has used them and like link them to their phone, is they're not as happy about linking back to an original phone, which is why you then have to clear the cache or whatever it's called on the Bluetooth. So that is a little bit annoying, like, because I went to film this yesterday and they just weren't having it, like they just weren't pairing, and like I finally got them back from running after I'd like googled how to clear it and everything, but by that point I was pretty annoyed and didn't feel like filming. So yeah, that's a negative, but once you know how to deal with it, it's kind of alright, I guess. So yeah, like I said, I have now partnered up with PowerDot, which is really cool, which means you guys can get yourself a 10% discount using the code SDavis10, and I will put the link down below and my code so that you guys can find it. And yeah, hopefully you guys found this useful. Hopefully if you were kind of going back and forth on an idea of whether to buy one or not, it's helped you out. Like I said, completely open and honest. I don't feel a difference when it comes to recovery, when it comes to rehab and tens and stuff. I think it is useful. So yeah, that's me. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. A little bit different, a little bit of a review. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you buy yourself some Barbell Queen merch. And I will see you all next time. Bye!